jewelry, yo, RD, order the masturbator, Rob, aka Raphael, the Mando. Welcome to a new RD video, and it is an RD update video. Oh my god, I miss you guys very much. I miss making and selling my donuts to your retail stores and to your individual fans and everyone else with my donuts and my donut bar. You know, a lot has happened as of late that's not positive, and I'm gonna get on to it. But I am so glad to tell you that firstly, I am great, I am safe, and I am blessed. And even though what I'm gonna tell you is not even on me, and it did set me back, I have to tell you that I am on the process of bossing back. So guys, please don't think that I'm portraying you in any way. This what I'm going to tell you what happened to me. I am not too grateful, and it now it is unfortunate, but this could have happened to anyone, whether no matter what disability, no matter what weakness they have. It's just part of life, but that go to show you that yes, there are evil people in this world. There are people living in this world that are not happy with themselves. They don't love God. They don't love Jesus or know God or Jesus. And because of them, they're miserable, they're not happy with themselves, and they're not positive themselves. So when those kind of people don't have the emotion that we as Christians, as wonderful great people have, they fall in the peace of safety. They begin doing safety work, which affect us as human beings and as service or God and Jesus. So I want you to know that no matter what safety does, Him and His service will never prevail. They don't prevail. And where it safety and His service do to us is no joke and is no way of living. Having said that, safety has failed to break me down to his level. Safety has failed to take me away from my loved ones, my friends, my family, my girlfriend, and for all of you RD maniacs. Your RD maniacs are my family. So if you mess with me, if you're an evil person, then you mess with the RD realm of friends. So let's be careful about that. If you see up any of my disabilities, any of my weaknesses, even 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 the ones that are well measured by me, and use that to expose me, I'm gonna let you know that you will not prevail, you will not win, and you will not, and you will not, um, you will not be in heaven. So I'm gonna, I'm going to tell you what we happen to mean. RD fans, are you ready? Okay, so what happened to me is that it is a bit hard for me to swallow, but I am brave enough to tell you that between the late 2024 through summer of 2025, I was exploded. I was slammed by a no predator that um, have 2 decades of history of surrounding multiple people. At the time that I met him on the bus in June of 2024, I was piecing up my RD fundraiser expansion campaign, where I was out there piecing to business orders, trying to raise my expect capital of $20,000 for me to expand into more retailers. And I was I was on the bus, talking to this dude. You know, he still like an okay dude, but I did not trust him. I did not trust. I'm not John Matter, so I did trust him. So I talked to him about Raphael Donuts expanding, that I have a fundraiser going, that I have my dog walking and pet series services going as part of my fundraiser, which at the time I was doing Rover. And then and then after that, I give him every week talk. You know, I give him cause I was on my way back to my old apartment. At the time, I was living in Pyatt. I lived there for five years. I give him my flower. And then, after that, we went on separate ways. At the time, I didn't know where he was going. At the time, I didn't know his backstory. You know, and I did, and of course he was trying to get to a certain spot off the bus to get on Uber because he was on the way back to Detroit, you know. But 2 months later, the guy went up to me uh, on Facebook through my Raphael Donut Facebook page. He told a why and asked me to call him because he may have because he might have a great idea. So I opened the so I opened my heart to yeah to call him. You know, after we talk on the phone, you know, and he suggests then he suggests to meet him at a place of my choosing. At the time, back in August of 2024, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for me to swallow because I did not know about him. But I'm not. But I'm not the one to blame. I'm not the one to blame. But I did choose a vegan restaurant in Philadelphia for him to meet. After that, here I talk about potentially for him to donate, but he said he wanted to be more on the investor because he was going to invest in me. He claimed to have a trust fund that his grandfather passed on to him. And I was like, okay, but I was open-minded, you know. And I asked him what would want you to do, what his will be. Well, his will will be, and he claims to work for a live stream app called Twitch. And if you don't know what Twitch is a live streaming app all by Amazon. So eventually he claimed to have worked for Amazon / Twitch. He was suggesting was he put his money into my Raphael donuts for me to expand, that he will help me get my donuts up to multiple retailers, like he was going to showcase my products on Twitch, like he was going to help me get into multiple retailers. And that's at the time I saw very convincing. So I was like, okay. And then I agreed, and then I thought about that. And then I agreed with him on the deal. Like, he did not ask for anything back once he made that investment. Supposedly make that investment. Fast forward to a couple days after we had that meeting, he called me up and he told me that he was robbed. It is lasting. And then he was asking me to help him get out of what he claimed to be a robbery situation. And then I was thinking, and because I had some thought about this, because I owe up to my thoughts. Because at the time, I did not suspect that that he had any evil vibes, that he had any evil intentions. Alright? My instinct did not set his evil intentions. So I wait with my instincts and wait and trust that he will repay me with his offer to repay me doubly. Alright? If I help him. So I help him. I help him get out of his lesson and into the hotel. I help him get his groceries. And I did that. I did that in the trust that he was a good enough person, a trustworthy enough person, and then hopefully he will be a man of his word. But fast forward to September 2024. Yeah. Uh, it has mean, and this is where I'll have to blame myself. I had to blame myself because I did have some decisions. I did the back. I did have some thought around this because I was the one who lived in an apartment that was a sabotaged apartment set in apartment project based apartment, and this is tearing my heart on because this is the only thing that I'm not dwelling so much into it, but this is where I take the responsibility. Because have I not made that decision, maybe I will not have may not have been slammed, but when he asked me that he could stay in move to temporarily stay in my apartment because he was looking for apartments and it was on the wait list, And I thought about this, but ultimately I agreed to let him stay at my apartment. And that was when, after that, things started to go on the downhill for me and perhaps RD. By the way, first, before the apartment situation, he asked me every week to what was supposed to be a meeting between him and his father. His grandfather, rather. And every a grade meeting, his grandfather supposedly agreed for him to give me his trust fund money. So we wait to a closing zone that has tables. We sat in, and he asked me for my water number and my RD business account number. So he could wire the money to me. Unfortunately for me, I did give the guy number, but the rest was history. Yeah, but ever left him, unfortunately for me, because of my mental delay, I had no clue about what he was going to do next. Unfortunately for me, that's when he was able to brainwash me, gaslight me, but telling me false stories about my own family, about my own way of living, about my vegan lifestyle, about my relationship and my friendship with all my best friends, which all of them are female and older, that I love, that they love me, and they're my girlfriend. And every time I try to defend myself, he part in another gaslight method, another gaslight method, and another gaslight method which I didn't know at the time. And soon as you know it, with false promises and false promises and false promises and evil evil tactic which I didn't know about at the time. Look, look. Fast forward to July of last year. Yes, I was, and let's be honest. Yes, I was labor Jeffrey. He told me that I did not have any work ethic. He did not work. He had me work for 2 jobs while he did not do anything. And then, and and then, and then I met 2 new ladies that was working at Coca, which I was labor jacked by him to do. Ever I made great friends, ever getting to know them for the couple months that I was working at Coca in Washington Hills. Um, yeah, yeah. That saved me. And fast forward to that day in the middle of July of last year, they told me everything of what really happened to me. Now, at the time, I did not know about what was happening to me. But what they told me and they saw me, what really happened to me, what he really was doing, now that I was shocked, I was surprised, but I was angry and bitter. I was full of negative feeling that I could not even believe. And those 2 ladies who I will message this video, Dee and Celine, they're showing me, hey, we got your back. We know how wonderful you are. We know how strong you really are. We know that this is not of you. That at that time, because of his accident, I lost my apartment. I could not do any of my fundraiser. for Raphael donut to his bag. I could not force it. In my normal life, in my regular life, the life that I devoted myself to and invested myself to live. I couldn't do any of that. And I was confused. But those two ladies did so little. They got you bad. And we know what kind of lie I was living. And I'm saying, and that was told me we're gonna get it all back. We're gonna get it all back. So they got me into a separate hotel away from the travel. They got some of the hotel that he had me live with him at. And then they got me into a safe haven that woke to get me of safe havens. At the time, I was thinking about my best friends, my loved best friends, like Angela, if you watch this video, like Lickety Sue, like Lickety F, like Jen, like Ania, my best friends. And by the way, Rebecca, I'm sorry that I did not consider you, but I did not know because of your situation that because of your situations that I could not consider you because you might end up have moved to a simple place yourself because of what happened to your son. And because my prayers are always with you and always with Nova, you know. And I'm glad he's doing all right. But let's get back to me, you know. Yeah, that Dee and Celine were looking for safe havens. They were looking for a music posse that got me with mental health services to get me checked up. They wanted everything about that. Sorry about the interruption, and sorry it was just my girlfriend that was in the kitchen. Anyway, as I was saying, Dee and Celine helped me get out of what was a toxic, sweater situation, which I never thought of never even mentioned or even visualize myself being in. Again, the sweater had me brainwashed. Had my mental delays. Not over we progress, but also worsen. And after I discovered what he was really doing, I didn't feel like myself. I did not feel like the man that I am, have always been, and you have known me to be. I was so happy. But in the same time, I felt like I felt violated. I felt not only disrespect, I felt used and I felt I was exploited for someone else's evil work. Fortunately for me, the installation I did it back. The sweater even had me forced me to eat animal product because he didn't believe. I mean, he had this delusion that I was my knowing myself. When it was not even the case. And that in his delusion, wisdom was a cult. Which has never been the case. I chose the vegan lifestyle because I love everything about the vegan lifestyle. The fact that people living their lifestyle are saving the animals and the environment and making the environment a great deal. They're making the animal feel like living beings. But they have living beings that feel just like us as human beings. And on the top of that, I chose the vegan lifestyle in 2016 because I felt strongly that it is resembled to me. I love animals. I love humans. I love plants. I love the fact that food inventions have made not just myself whole, even more food, but everyone else that eats plants. Make them whole. I did not treat veganism like a diet, but a lifestyle. And the trainer and the instructor brainwashed me into going against my lifestyle, which has been part of my medical and integrity and society. But because of Dee and Selena and that effort to save me for the shredder, not only they got me back into the vegan lifestyle, that got me straightened so I can stay in the vegan lifestyle. And by the way, the shredder forced me to eat. When shredder forced me to eat animals, the animal products did not taste anything like the animal products that I grew up eating. It was horrific. It was horrible. It was unmanageable. Anyway, Dean and Selena did the same because, and those of you that are my best friends, I don't blame one bit because all of you have travel plans at the time on You just didn't have room in your home for me. So I clearly don't play you one bit. I still can see you, my wonderful best friend and my most trustworthy best friend. I just wish I had the mental, the a fully developmental sense. Like I am betrayed to devour. So I could have said to the sinners, thank you, but you're not for me. You're not for me. But my issue failed me, so did my mental mindset. And I don't even blame my mental sex. I don't blame my mental delays. Because throughout my adulthood, I have lived a safer environment that includes and a safer neighborhood to where I didn't have to worry about strangers and evil people like that. Except for two neighbors. Most of my neighbors at my old apartment complex were wonderful to me. We will talk and we will spend time in each other's houses. I have great neighbors where I had free time. And every day I would walk to my kitchen to bake my donuts for your fans and for your retailers. I will walk there with all big talking. Even though Payam has history of domestic violence, not one of those domestic violence crimes talking me, at least directly. If I was to be honest with you, I did enjoy some of the people here in Payam, but as a city, Payam, even though it has promises like the small businesses are going in Payam, the city, I call it a phony suburb because it's not really a suburb. It technically is a suburb, but it's not really a suburb. Respectfully. Having said that, Party still has some things to work out, and I'll say this one, unless Payam, unless you are about going to nightclubs or taking drugs, Payam is not for you. And I'll say this one too, as much as I enjoy some places like the Open County Farmers Market, as well as some of the arts and the library too, and the farm markets too, Payam was just for me into the living there as a resident is not I treat Payam as a temporary time for me to live because I see myself living in a much more ideal time per se. For me personally, I love Western Hills, Troll, Warren, Royal, Fodale, um, Sabatopsies, even Waterford, to be honest, and Bluebeam Tossing and Bluebeam Hills. I wouldn't propose to live in any of those other communities that I just listen than to be in a pie. And let's be honest, pie except for Raphael donuts. If you take a Raphael donuts, there's no other vegan restaurants or companies that produce vegan food in the city in Paya. So, no say in for Paya, but Paya, you know, not my ideal place. But Payam, I have been grateful for you to help Raphael Donuts expand to get into the night retailer we were in before the event and before my next round of fundraising. So I still respect you, you know, but you healed the honest, heartfelt honesty for me. But anyway, Dee and Celine, they were grateful to help me when I recognize that the surrender have a hand on my relationship to get me up to my girlfriend's house. And my girlfriend, she had no blame for me. She does not blame me one bit. You know, she blamed more on the surrender than to me. She was more angry about the surrender than at me. But I am so grateful to be safe. I am so grateful to be alive. You know, yes, I did mental evaluations for the rest of 2025, but none of them, even though that boot that I was vulnerable, that did not help in the process of the surrender being arrested. Yes, he is on the loose, still, and he's still on the loose, and he is quite sad to me, but for me as a human being, I felt like I am strong to tell you that yes, I am working on improving on myself, improving my mental awareness and learning to defend myself and others for future surrenders and other evil people. And I'm working on my speed in terms of keeping my voice to a tabletop conversation level. So I can be not only a better speaker, but I can what I was looking for? Oh yes. So I can avoid myself for being talking by potential threaters and evildoers that may do harm, But but this is part one of my stories, and I am on a journey to not only becoming the sort of person I am, but how I will get, you know, get RD, but I'm running, I cannot say that it might be the same RD, but I will tell you this, RD as a company and as a brand, it might be a little bit different, but it will be shorter. It might be better, and it will be more probable. It will be more probable than it was before, and yes, it becomes my faith in God and Jesus. It might be because of my loved ones, but it may be because of your fabs out there. You help me get you help me get our dean to the level it was before. And I have no doubt that you will support me in getting our day not only back to the level it was, but in a higher level. And as long as you support me, I will never, ever quit. No drop out. RD fans, I love you. And I'll see you this time. See you in the next video. Be well, eat well, live well, stay